French Cleat tool wall. Now, chances are that if you're watching this video, then you're either a woodworker, a metal worker, a wood turner, a DIYer, or something else that ends in "er." Point being, you'll have a workspace of some variety, whether it be a shed or a purpose-built workshop like mine. Now, in that workshop, you'll have somewhere to store your tools. You may have even made yourself a tool cupboard like mine. Now, just recently, I built a tool wall for Mike Holton. If you don't know Mike, he's a wood turner, he's a YouTuber, and he doesn't live too far away from me. He just lives over that way. Now, Mike had told me that several of his subscribers had asked about the tool wall that I built for him. So I thought maybe this would be a good time to give you an overview of how we built that tool wall for him. Now, when we built his in this workshop, it did take up a lot of space. So we won't be able to build to that size for this video, but we can make a smaller one. Now, all the techniques we use on his tool wall, we'll use on this smaller one that we'll build today. So, should we get started? Now, if you ask most people what a French cleat is, they'll probably say, oh. Simply put, a French cleat is a way of hanging things on a wall or a board without drilling lots of holes. There are two commonly used ways of making French cleats. You can use pine, just cut it at a 45-degree angle, or if you're feeling expensive, you can go aluminium, which is this. Now, this is the type that I use on some of my high-end artworks, but it's expensive. If you bought these two lengths, 1 meter each, one for the wall, one for wherever you're hanging, it's 25 quid. So that's mega expensive. And if you're going to go for 13 French cleats on a backboard, if you're just going to do something for a workshop but still look tidy, pine is the way to go, and that's what we're going to use today. So first of all, we need a backboard. There we go. That's a good backboard for a small tool wall. We'll use that. Right, so what we have here is we have a piece of ply which is 1/2 inch thick, and it is 32 by 20.5 inches. One thing you have to remember about me is that I was born in the 60s and I only work in old money. None of your metric nonsense for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 4-inch centers for this. So we'll get it all marked up in 4s. Next, we have to take our bandsaw and just adjust her to 45 degrees like this. There we go, 45 degrees. And we'll use it like that. Now what we've done is we've marked our centre for our pine, which are going to be the cleats. So now what we're going to do, we use our guide and just get to the centre. We use our guide, get to the centre of this, There we go. Like that. Okay. Then we tighten it down. We can cut our 45-degree angle on these. And there we go. One cleat. Do the next one. Now we have all our French cleats for our backboard, so we just need to place them now. So that's all your cleats positioned on the backboard, and when you have wherever you want to hang from it, with this cleat on the back of that, it'll simply just go in behind and hang. So, the next thing to do is secure them to the backboard. Next, turn it over and we countersink the backs. Ta-da! All done. And there we go. That's the backboard finished with all the French cleats on. So the next thing to make is the chisel holder box. Okay, so we have this piece of ply. And this will do for the back of the chisel box, or the two halves of the chisel box I should say, because we're going to have a top piece and a bottom piece. Now this piece is 19 inches wide, so it's not quite as wide as the 20.5 inches of our backboard, but I don't have a lot of wood turning chisels, so it's more than big enough. So this back piece we're going to make 6 inches high. Now we can make the sides. And we've got a couple of offcuts to make them with. Right, now we have both sides, and what we're going to do now is we're going to make a curve just to make them look nice.
So if we do this,
there we go. Oh, and by the way, pretty sweet, eh? Homemade. Why spend money when you can make it? Sides are made. Now we just have to screw them on. Simple enough. And what we'll do is, that's the thickness of the pine we're using, and then we'll draw another line halfway like that, and then we'll need 2 screws, so we'll go one there, one there, one there, and strangely enough one there. Okay, now we just drill them out. Now you may notice that I use a screwdriver. I don't use a drill driver or anything like that, and that is because I don't like to over tighten anything. You don't need to be stripping all the threads out. Hey, look at us, woodificating. Right, both sides are on, and they are square. So now what we need to do is make a base, and we have another piece here which we can use. There we go. And cut that on the miter saw like we do. There we go, there's the base. Just pop it in, pop it down, get it in. We're not going to screw it in just at the moment because we have to drill little recesses for where the chisel handles will actually sit in, but we will measure that and mark it, take that out, and again halfway put a line in. And that'll be where we put our screws. Right, so what we do next is we need to make recesses. So what we've done now is we've marked out for 9 chisels. Now I've got a little template that I can use to get them all in the same position. So next we have to route these out. As you see on the router, we've got a cove bit, and that'll cut out the little dishes that we need. Don't worry, it's not plugged in yet, so let's get on with it. And there we go. Space for 9 chisels with these rebates, recesses, whatever you want to call them. Now we just need to put it together. Now if you wanted, you could leave it like that, but I like to put a little bar across the front, and I'm going to recess that in, and it just saves anything falling out, because if you sharpen your chisels, the last thing you want is them falling out onto the floor. Okay, so the base section is complete. We've put the bar in and we've sorted it all out. We've also put the cleat on the back, so now that'll fit straight on to our tiny tool wall. Off camera, I've made the top section for the chisel holder. It's exactly the same as the base, it's a different shape, so you didn't really need to see that again. Next we have this piece which will go into here, and we'll cut circles out, 9 of course, with little grooves, and they'll hold the chisel steels. Now if there's one thing I will say about pine, is that when you drill through it, it will chip out. So we're going to try to reduce the chip out here by clamping it to a sacrificial piece of ply. So let's see if that works. Right then, shall we see how we did? Whether the clamps made any difference at all. Yeah, not bad at all. After a little bit of a tidy up, I'll be fine. Now to the bandsaw again. Next thing we need to do is to open these holes up so the chisel blades can sit into them. Okay, confession time. Full transparency on this channel, and if I make a mistake, I'll let you know. Now, I haven't made a mistake on this one, but I did make a mistake on Mike's, and I didn't realise I'd made a mistake until I saw this picture. And when I made this for his, I didn't make a couple of these wide enough to accept a ball gouge blade. So you notice on that picture, it's just sitting on the surface. It's not sitting in the slot. So one mistake I made, and I didn't realise until I saw that. So on this one, we made wider holes on all of them. Okay, so that's made. Now, we just screw it onto there. Okay, and remember, when you do screw this onto the backboard, offset the screws from the actual slots. Okay, so we have our mini tool wall. We have our chisel holders. They sit on like that. That one goes into there, maybe there for my chisels. And then we just populate it like this. One tool holder for your chisels. And obviously the top piece you can move up and down depending on the length of the shaft of your chisel. These are only sort of cheap and cheerful ones. And these are my carbide ones, so yeah. Other things you can put onto your tool wall are, you can put your magnetic strips, which just go onto a piece of ply, and then put a cleat on the back of the ply, and that goes on. You can also make another one exactly the same as the top piece, except not cutting the slot, so they're just holes, and that can be for your centres. So there we go. One mini tool wall with wood turning chisel holder. I hope you didn't find the video too boring or too long, and if you fancy having a go, it's quite simple. It'll probably only take you thick end of a day. So, and if you do, let me know. Next time we'll be working with oak, and we'll be making a porridge spoon and a spurtle. Till then, see you later.